Tzi the Iceman was first uncovered in 1991 in the Ötztal Alps, straddling the border of Austria and Italy by a group of German hikers. Since that remarkable discovery, he has become perhaps the single most studied human in all of history. Scientists have spent decades piecing together his story, revealing an extraordinary window into life during the Copper Age, some 5,300 years ago. Etched into his body were 61 tattoos, formed in simple lines and crosses on his back, legs, and wrists. Researchers believe these markings were not decorative, but instead an early form of acupuncture used to ease joint pain or arthritis. His clothing, too, was a testament to ingenuity. Leather leggings, a loincloth, and a goat hide coat stitched from multiple animal skins. He wore a fur cap, and his shoes were cleverly stuffed with grass to keep in warmth. Every element of his outfit was crafted with precision to endure the harsh alpine climate. Scientists even examined his stomach to uncover his final meal: ibex, red deer, and einkorn wheat, an ancient domesticated grain. This diet highlighted a fascinating transition, bridging the world of hunter-gatherers with the dawn of agriculture. His DNA revealed even more. He was lactose intolerant, carried genes that increased the risk of heart disease, and traced his ancestry back to Anatolian farmers who migrated to Europe nearly 7,000 years before his time. His tools showed him to be an experienced survivalist. He carried a copper axe, a quiver with 14 arrows, though only 2 were finished, along with a flint knife fitted to an ashwood handle, an unfinished yew longbow, and birch bark containers. But the most chilling discovery came from his body itself. An arrowhead lodged in his shoulder revealed his death was no accident. It was violent. For years, it seemed as though Ötzi had already shared all his secrets, but a recent breakthrough has changed everything, reshaping how we understand not only his life, but the very evolution of our species. Until now, scientists believed that the slender, lightweight ribcage of modern humans was a unique feature, a trait that set us apart from our heavier, stockier ancestors, like the Neanderthals or Homo erectus. The ribcage, or thorax, is the skeletal framework protecting vital organs while enabling breathing and supporting posture. Early reconstructions, such as the famous Turkana boy, a 1.5 million-year-old Homo erectus skeleton from Kenya, reinforced the idea that Homo sapiens evolved with a narrower, more graceful body, possibly to improve long-distance endurance and upright mobility. But a groundbreaking 2025 study published in Communications Biology has challenged this long-standing belief. At the center of this paradigm shift is none other than Ötzi himself. Using advanced 3D digital modeling and geometric morphometrics, a technique that precisely measures anatomical structures, researchers reconstructed his ribcage in unprecedented detail. The results revealed a story far more complex than we ever imagined, rewriting what we thought we knew about human evolution. Reconstructing Ötzi's ribcage was no simple task. The very ice that preserved him for more than 5,000 years had also warped his bones, pressing his ribs inward toward his chest and back as his body lay face down in the glacier. When scientists digitally restored his thorax, the result was striking. A ribcage larger and more barrel-shaped than that of many modern humans, with a broader lower chest and a narrower upper section, yet still holding the rounded, globular form unique to Homo sapiens. Researchers describe this thorax as ambiguous, neither the slim, delicate chest of modern humans nor the heavy, robust build of Neanderthals. Instead, it appeared to be a specialized adaptation, shaped by Ötzi's demanding lifestyle in the high Alps. He lived around 3,300 BC, during the Chalcolithic period, a time when Europe was transitioning from stone to copper tools. His world revolved around seasonal alpine transhumance, moving to higher elevations during the warmer months to hunt and herd, then retreating to sheltered valleys when winter arrived. Such a life demanded physical resilience. At altitudes above 3,200 meters, oxygen grows scarce, temperatures can plunge below -10 degrees Celsius, and travel requires carrying heavy equipment: his copper axe, flint dagger, unfinished bow, a quiver of arrows, and birch bark containers packed with supplies. His barrel-like ribcage gave him an advantage, increasing lung capacity for deeper breaths in the thin mountain air. It also helped conserve warmth during bitterly cold nights, a trait consistent with Bergmann's rule, the principle that animals in colder climates often evolve bulkier bodies to reduce heat loss. And yet, Ötzi's ribcage was not overly massive. Its rounded, tapering shape allowed him to regulate body heat more efficiently than a Neanderthal, whose wider, flatter chest was better suited to permanent cold. In this way, his body was a remarkable compromise, versatile enough to survive both the freezing heights of the Alps and the milder valleys below. But while this adaptation may have helped him endure harsh environments, it could not shield him from violence. Forensic analysis shows that an arrow pierced his left shoulder, severing the subclavian artery. While some studies suggest the bleeding alone might not have been fatal, the injury left him incapacitated. Unable to escape, he collapsed and ultimately froze to death in the snow. Ironically, it was this violent end that ensured his extraordinary preservation. Encased in ice, his body became a time capsule, allowing scientists to uncover evidence that challenges the idea of a single standard human body type. Instead, Otzi's story reveals a spectrum of adaptations within Homo sapiens, each shaped by climate, geography, and lifestyle. His ribcage is not just a relic of survival, but a key to understanding the diverse ways our species has evolved to meet the demands of its environment. From the deserts of Egypt to the icy plains of Europe, the ribcage has always carried a story of survival. The 38,000-year-old remains from Nazlet Khader in Egypt revealed a small cylindrical chest, perfectly adapted for releasing body heat in a scorching, arid climate. His skeletal frame hinted at a life of grueling labor, perhaps mining chert, the stone used for tools. In Israel, the 23,000-year-old Ohalo man displayed a similarly slender thorax built for endurance in the temperate Levant, where foraging demanded constant movement across varied landscapes. Meanwhile, in the Czech Republic, the 30,000-year-old Dolní Věstonice individual possessed a ribcage nearly as massive as a Neanderthal's, though slightly wider, an adaptation to trap warmth during the freezing conditions of the last ice age. The Neanderthals themselves, like Kabara II from 60,000 years ago and Shanidar III from 50,000 years ago, had broad, flat chests, sculpted to endure the relentless cold. Going even further back, the famous Nariokodome boy, a Homo erectus from 1.5 million years ago, carried a sturdy, juvenile ribcage that reflected the evolutionary path of our earlier ancestors. Placed side by side, these comparisons reveal something profound. The ribcage of Homo sapiens was never uniform. Unlike the long-standing belief that our species evolved with a universally slender body plan, the evidence now shows a spectrum of adaptations. Otzi's barrel-shaped thorax, positioned somewhere between slender and robust, reflects the unique challenges of alpine survival. This discovery reshapes how we think about human evolution. Instead of one blueprint for the human body, we find a mosaic, shapes and structures molded by climate, lifestyle, diet, and ancestry. In some cases, similar body forms may have appeared independently, sculpted not only by environment, but also by intense physical labor or even random genetic shifts. Otzi's frozen chest is more than a relic. It is proof that our species has always been adaptable. His story, joined with those of ancient individuals from across the globe, shows us that Homo sapiens are defined not by a single form, but by diversity itself. Slender ribcages, once thought to be our signature, are now understood as just one variation within a much broader range of possibilities. And as scientists continue to study him, Otzi still holds more secrets waiting to be uncovered. For over 5 millennia, his body has remained locked in ice, a time capsule unlike any other. With every new revelation, he reminds us that the human story is far richer, more complex, and more varied than we ever imagined. Thanks for watching. If this journey into our past fascinated you, make sure to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Until next time, farewell.